So, since the color of the year is white, or at least an off-white, I thought why not creating a makeup look with white eyeshadow. And since I have been seeing more and more creators doing a white eyeshadow makeup look on social media, I also felt inspired. Now honestly, I wasn't sure whether or not white eyeshadow would look amazing or completely wash me out, but since I'm going to do it anyway, I'm going to let myself get surprised. So yeah, I think I'm just going to start now. First I need lip balm, obviously, because my lips are so dry, and I always use this lip balm by Catkin. This product is so soft and smooth on the lips, and it's so hydrating and feels so comfortable. I'm using the shade C01, and it's like this. It's the darkest color. Alright, I think I'm going to start because I have been talking too much. And first I'm going to conceal my dark circles with a color corrector. I'm not always using a color corrector, but I also often use a regular concealer, which is a little bit darker than my skin tone. And it's basically like the same effect you get with a color corrector. And as you can see, it's more orange, so definitely not my shade, but as a color corrector it's perfect, and I intentionally bought the shade. And I used the Sheglam Rapid Retouch Cream Concealer in Nude, and this is a really good cream concealer. I noticed with these pot concealers that they tend to be very cakey, but this one is very creamy and it was never drying under my eyes. And now I'm blending it out. I have something in mind for this makeup look. I think almost everybody did it when they specifically created a white eyeshadow look. I think I saw it on Pinterest. It was a picture of Cindy Kimberly, I think, and it was very beautiful. And I think that picture especially was the inspo for a lot of creators. Alright, so next for foundation, I'm going to use a more lighter foundation, so not very high coverage, more like serum foundation. And I used the Catrice tinted serum foundation in 010N. I haven't used this in a while. It's actually a very good drugstore foundation and it's so affordable. It looks very light at first, but this foundation kind of oxidized a little bit, so it will match my skin tone a little bit more. And also because I have an olive skin tone, almost every foundation will look like it doesn't really match me, so it's okay. I hope you cannot hear a lot of background noises because my window is open. It's a little bit hot in here, so I opened it, but I hope it's not very disturbing. But I know the birds are very loud, so I hope it's okay. And now blending everything out with a wet sponge. I also put in contact lenses. Now white eyeshadow really looks amazing on brown eyes. It can really make brown eyes pop and accentuate the color, but I thought to put in some more greener contact lenses. They're more natural. It's just like more of a tint of green. These are by Just for Kira, and I think I have a code there. I hope it's still valid, so I'm going to pop it up on the screen if you're interested. This is how they look, and I'm wearing the color Asa Green, and they're very comfortable. You don't really feel them at first when you put them in. Of course you feel them, but after a few minutes you kind of adjust and you don't really feel them. Alright, I blended everything out and my foundation really looks very dewy and it feels very hydrated. And I also, of course, prepped my skin. I firstly used the Max Milky Toner, then I used the Jumisu Vitamin Serum, then I applied the ingredients, calming lotion, and then sunscreen, of course. I used the Goodall, I don't know, Heart Leaf sunscreen, I think. But I skipped my skincare slash skin prep because I don't know if you're interested. Me personally, I'm always interested in skincare as well when I watch a makeup video, but I don't know, let me know. I'm also going to list every product I used in the description box, so you know exactly what products I used. Okay, so now for concealer. Since my foundation is a little bit on the lighter side, I thought about choosing more high coverage concealer. It's the Sheglam Complexion Boost Concealer in Shell. Now this is honestly not really one of my favorite concealers because one, it's not really my shade. It's a little bit too dark and too yellow. And also I'm not really the fan of high coverage concealers because they always or often look cakey on me. But I thought I would give this a try. This is also in my project pan, so I kind of want to empty it. It's not entirely a horrible product, but I think it's just not for me. Even though I don't have dry skin, but I have dehydrated skin unfortunately, so it could be a possibility that products like this won't work for me. But yeah, I think the coverage is quite good. Maybe I should have chosen a more lighter shade, but right now I think it's okay. It looks very yellow when I apply it, but when I blend it out, it's kind of okay. Not bad right now, but I feel like my under eyes are a little bit yellow. Anyway, let's move on. Next, I'm going to use bronzer, and I just recently started to use bronzer. I never really used bronzer, and I got this About Face bronzer, and I fell in love with it. It's so good. It's so creamy. I got the lightest shade. I think it's Beach Goth, and it's just so perfect. I love using it. In general, I think About Face products are very good. And now I'm going to blend it out, and it also blends in like a dream. I don't even have to blend that much. It kind of like does its own job. I can only just recommend it. I wanted to try out About Face products. I wasn't expecting much, but I was very surprised by the quality and everything in general. But you can be sure if you buy anything from this brand, you know you're going to get a good product. For blush, I was looking for more of a beige blush or a blush which is a little bit more on the brown side. And I thought for a moment, and then I chose this Peri Para blush. It's the Pure Blush Sunshine Cheek in 25 Maple Cream. And it is this more brown, warm toned blush. It's also a cream blush. So I'm starting to apply it with my finger first. And it's a K-Beauty blush, so Korean blushes tend to be a little bit less pigmented than Western products. But it's okay as long as you can build it up. I'm honestly gravitating towards products or blushes in general that are not intensely pigmented, because if I mess up, it's much harder to fix everything. But with a product or a blush that is less pigmented, you can build it up. If that's possible, it's much easier, and that's what I like more in general. And also, I applied 3 layers and it is visible, so you can definitely build this up. And I love a beige brown blush recently. I think it looks so cute. It looks so good in summer, and it also looks good in fall. Now I need to set everything. I'm going to use a light pink powder for my under eyes, and of course it's the Huda Beauty one, the pink one, Cherry Blossom Cake. And for the rest of my face, I'm going to use a compact powder. I use this Essence All About Matte Fixing Compact Powder. This is a very good drugstore product. For the price, it's perfect. Now this is really fixing your makeup, but if you have very oily skin, it's not going to be matte all day. It says matte, but I noticed oils throughout the day break down the product. And since I don't have oily skin, but I have combination skin, and I struggle with quite an oily T-zone, and especially my nose. My nose is definitely oily. Whenever I do my makeup an hour later, my nose is already oily, so I definitely have an oily nose. This is how it looks with the Huda Beauty powder under my eyes. I didn't use a lot, so it's not very pink, but also I cannot use a lot of powder under my eyes anyway because it gets cakey, so I always use a very light layer anyway. And yeah, for all the rest of my face, I'm going to use this Essence powder. I already hit pan on it, and also I'm using the cutest powder puff. It's by Momo's Workshop. It's so cute. And I also have a coat there as well. If you're interested in cute makeup puffs, definitely check them out. The quality is also very good. Next I'm going to do my nose contour, and I'm just going to do it how I always do it. It looks the best on me, and I recently always use this contour highlighter quad by Sheglam. It has a good quality, and I think they got inspired by the Judydoll contour palette, which I wanted initially, but then I couldn't find it anywhere, and then I chose to get this one. And I always also drag it up to my brows, so I'm always using the whole product, so all 4 shades. Then I'm going to do my brows. I'm always doing my brows after foundation and after I put on powder, because I always use an eyebrow gel only, and with that it won't get like dusty and white because of the powder, and just an eyebrow gel is enough for me. I'm always using a tinted brow gel. I'm using the Etude Color My Brows in 03 Red Brown. Alright, then let's get to the eyes, especially the eyeshadow, and for that I'm going to use the Sheglam Showtime in Seattle palette. It has this white shade here, and it's also a neutral palette. I'm going to set my eyelids first. I use this light beige color just to slightly set them so it won't crease or anything, to kind of brighten them as well. Before I'm going to go over with the white shade of the Sheglam palette, I use this single eyeshadow by Kiko Milano. It's the High Pigment Wet and Dry eyeshadow. I think with the number like this it's not available. The shade like this is available, but I don't know what number, and I also don't know why they changed everything. But this one is more of an off-white shade, but this one is not very pigmented, so it's better for like a base color or a blending color or transitioning color. And I'm going to set my eyelids with this as well, and I'm also going to set my lower lash line. I don't want my eyelids to be entirely white because it can look off, so I'm going to use a bit of a gray shade in my crease, but not too much, just as a tiny detail. So I'm using this grayish color just a tiny bit in my crease just to accentuate it more, and it's also not entirely gray, it's more mixed with a brown shade, and it will come through that white a little bit. Just really focus on your crease and just go along, and it will do the blending. Now I'm going to use the Kiko eyeshadow again and kind of blend above to my eyebrows. And now comes the white eyeshadow. Now I'm going to use this one. This is more pigmented, and first I'm going to dab it on just all over my lid, and I will also go in my inner corners here and create like that C, and as you can see it definitely is much more pigmented than the other eyeshadow. One white eyeshadow I can also really recommend is one white single eyeshadow by Wet n Wild. It contains some glittery particles. I really love it, but I also have it, but I don't have it here with me right now. You can get a very pigmented white eyeshadow for such an amazing price. I'm first dabbing it on and then kind of blend it out, and as you can see the darker eyeshadow I applied in my crease now comes through a little bit, but not too much. Otherwise the area between my brows and eyes would be just flat, because white also kind of highlights, and doing this it won't look so flat and just even. And now also a little bit under my eyes, but not too much. I just stop here in the middle, and now I'm going to do the exact same on the other eye. Okay, then I'm going to use a black eye pencil to line my lash line, my upper and lower lash line. So I'm just grabbing this Sheglam Smoke Clouds Kohl eyeliner in Jet Set. It's the black one, and I'm just starting to line my lash line, also on my waterline. If you have teary eyes and you're looking for a product that is long lasting, I recommend this. So I'm first using a brush with nothing on, and I kind of blend the product first before it sets, and then I'm going to go in with the black shade. Now it can be a little bit tricky with black eyeshadows, so you can also use a dark brown shade. It's much more easier with that. And I just go over all the areas I applied the eye pencil and kind of also blend it out a little bit. And then I'm going over with a little bit of a more lighter brown shade over the blended areas of the black. I think I'm going to use this one because it's a little bit more gray, just lightly, not too much, because I don't want a lot of brown in this look. Now I'm grabbing the eye pencil again to create a wing. Just a tiny bit. I'm going to extend it with the eyeshadow. Now I need a very tiny brush. Now I'm going to draw the eyeliner and kind of smoke it out a little bit. Are they even? I hope so. Next I'm going to use highlighter, and I use this white highlighter. It's the 2A and Pure Glass highlighter in WH01 Frosty, and it's a white highlighter, so it's very fitting. And first I'm going in with a tiny brush, and I put this in my inner corner and also drag it a bit upward here. I'm also going to put this here on my brow bones, and then I use it as a highlighter. And then I'm also using my finger to dab it on all over my eyelid. Then I go over again with a very glittery highlighter. I use this Essence Nuts About You all over highlighter, very glittery highlighter with no base, and I use this again on my eyelids. Okay, and then I go over with mascara, and I use this Essence Tubing Mascara. It's the Lash Without Limits Tubing Extreme Lengthening and Volume Mascara. And now I just go over. It doesn't need to look good because I will be applying false lashes anyway. Okay, when my mascara is drying, I'm going to take off the lip balm. I'm going to line my lips first with a brown lip liner, and I use the Essence 8 Hour Matte Comfort Lip Liner in 10 The Perfect Shade, and it is just the perfect brown liner. It's good for the base. I have to overline a little bit always because I have a double lip line. And now I go over with a more darker lip liner. I use the Kiko Milano Smart Fusion Lip Pencil in 36. It's a more cool toned lip liner. And I'm only going to line my lips here in the middle, and then here, and then also on my mouth corner, and like blend it in a little bit. Doing it like this, I think it looks very good. This effect looks a little bit more powdery and overall not too harsh when you line, especially with a dark brown lip liner. And then before continuing with my lips, I'm going to apply lash glue, and I use this Essence lash glue. It's good, but it's not really my favorite because it gets clumpy very easily. And while I wait for my lash glue to dry, I can finish my lips, and I'm going to use a lip gloss, a more nude lip gloss. I decided upon the Catrice Filler Supreme Lip Gloss in 015 Nude Not Rude. I really love these lip glosses, and they're so glossy and hydrating. And now I only need to apply my lashes. These are the lashes I'm going to use. This is how they look. Alright, so this is how the makeup look looks. I didn't expect the color to be so flattering. Yeah, I quite like it. Would you actually wear white eyeshadow? Let me know. And what's the most unexpected eyeshadow color you tried? So if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment. That way you can support me. So kindly do that, and I hope I'm going to see you in my next video.